Hey everyone, it's David Frederick, and thank you for stopping by my Composer's Corner. As I always say, if you're here, thank you. I know there's a ton of content out there competing for your interest, so I just want to say thanks for taking the time to stop by and hear and see some of the things that we're working on here in Composer's Corner. We've got a lot of content planned, some really cool interviews. So if you like this channel, please subscribe. If you dig this video, please like it. We would really appreciate that. That helps us get a sense as to whether we're doing the right thing or not, and we're covering the right kind of content and topics. So today I want to talk to you about me and Herbie Hancock. I don't know Herbie Hancock, but back in 1978, I was asked by Mr. Kakahashi at Roland to help demo and perform with the Roland Jupiter 4 at the 1978 Atlanta NAMM show. Yeah, it goes back a long time. I think I was 10 or 11 years old. And one of the songs that I performed was Herbie Hancock's Chameleon. My dad had actually turned me on to it, said it was really funky, really cool, and so, needless to say, I ended up performing that song. And what was really interesting was, while performing that song, there was this guy playing guitar with me. And he had a big bushy mustache and long hair, and he's playing real funky-ass guitar licks and whatnot as I'm playing Chameleon. And I didn't know who it was at the time, but I did find out it was Jeff Baxter of the Doobie Brothers and Steely Dan and all that stuff. I didn't know. I knew who those bands were at that time, but I didn't know it was him. But what a cool experience that was to be able to play with Jeff on that Herbie Hancock song every time I did the demo. Anyways, that's just a little backstory. So I hadn't played that song since then, 1978. And I was just, when you have downtime, I think it's important to practice. Whether you're practicing, your manual chops and you're running lines and comping or scales or dexterity exercises, I think that's helpful. But equally important is just practicing your studio chops. And so I was dialing up a patch on the 2600, and it sounded like that Odyssey bass line in Chameleon. And I started playing it. I'm like, oh, wow, that's really cool. But, maybe I should layer that with the Odyssey to give it a little bit of a fatter sound. So I did that. And I just started playing it and remembering, like, oh, what a cool song. What a great bass line. I had heard this song in between 1978 and now, but, didn't play it. And so I just started laying the bass track down. And then I started laying, the grand piano part down, and then the clavinet. And then I started dialing up patches, for the lead. And then I started programming. And so this cascade of creativity started kicking in. And why is that important? Well, it's not necessarily for the creativity, but it gave me a chance to kind of just work on my chops, right? My studio chops, my playing chops, which clearly you'll hear need a little bit of work. The solos, synth solo and the grand piano solo are, one takes and, nothing to write home about. But the whole point of this and what I'm trying to convey is it's important to just go with it, right? Just start laying down stuff in your DAW, start recording it, playing around, just exercising those parts of your craft, I think is really important. And it doesn't necessarily have to be perfect. It's not album ready. It doesn't have to be album ready. But I do this from time to time, whether it's in my studio mayhem, where I'm playing along with other tracks, which is a great way to work on your chops, or just putting these things together. And like I said, sometimes they're good, sometimes they suck. But I think it's important, right? It's a good way to work on your chops. It's a good way to work on your creativity, your improvisational skills, your DAW skills, your programming skills. So it's a holistic way to incorporate your craft, right? So getting out there in the woodshed, working on all this stuff, I think helps make you a better musician, makes you more proficient in the studio with your gear. And really at the end of the day, and this is probably the most important thing, is it's fun. So my little work here was tied to this song Chameleon. And so I want to share that with you. I'll put in all the instruments that I used in the recording. There's 2600 Odyssey, Minimoog, Clavinet, B3, all that fun stuff. But I'll put all that stuff in the description and in the video so you get a sense. But this is kind of my musical thought experiment, just kind of working on my chops. Took me about 3 hours to do, all said and done. Most of the tracks are one take only, just kind of, like I said, just messing around, throwing stuff in there and seeing what it sounds like. So I hope you dig it. Please stay tuned. We got a ton of new content coming out, both from me, and there'll be interviews with other folks that I think you'll find really interesting. So there you have it. Again, if you dig this, you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. Please like the video. We really appreciate that. And without further ado, here is my quick version of Chameleon and the sum of this kind of holistic woodshed. I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. Take care. And there you have it, my quick version of Chameleon. I hope you liked it. It was a lot of fun to do. Hopefully it inspires you to, continue to do those kind of thought experiments and work on those holistic chops, not just your instrument chops, but just kind of all the fun stuff with the synthesizers and the studio and kind of bringing it all together. All right, so some quick shameless promotion. If you like the sounds in that song or any of the synthesizer work I do, definitely check out my synthesizer patch books. I've got some great cinematic sound effects on there, some really cool sample packs, including my newest one, maniacal modularity. There's some really cool sample loop libraries optimized for Reason and Ableton and Acid and all that good stuff. All of that's available at dfmgsignaturesfx.com. You can also check out my blog at DFMG Modern Audio. We put a lot of cool stuff up on there. And more tips and tricks, ideas, thoughts, all that fun stuff, industry news. So check it out. All right, guys, appreciate you. Thank you for taking the time to check this out, and we'll see you next time on Composer's Corner. Thanks.